Hello, once again. I've changed a bit the setting of the microphone. Adam, I see you here, so can you let me know if it's alright? Cool. Hello, all six. Alright, so let's get started. Just to recap what has been done in the previous streams. We have a player and the enemy, and we can move as the player. And when we get into the range of the enemy, the enemy starts attacking us, but I forgot to add the components. Okay, so I need to add the character attack. Increase the attack range to 3, attack damage 1, cooldown to 1. Oh, I forgot, it's currently, it says milliseconds, but it says cooldown is seconds, so I need to change it. And player, let's assign 50 health points. And when I move as the player near the enemy, it should start attacking me, but it doesn't. Maybe it's because of the range. No, it's not because of the team. Cooldown. Oh, I need to hit should perform. And now our character is losing health. And if I increase the movement speed of the enemy, it also follows our player. So this is a pretty basic stuff. I mean, you could accomplish that in the classic game object approach just probably in a few seconds, but it's all written in ECS in a very modular way. So for example, the component that tells our game to treat the entity as some kind of a not controlled by player is character AI, and we have a character AI follow enemy system, which finds the closest enemy and sets the direction of the character in that direction. Right now it just finds the player. So what I want to do right now today is replace those spheres with character models, add some animations, and maybe instead of a simple attacking system where it works like where's that? Character perform attack system. Okay, so right now it just finds the closest enemy, checks if the attack range is if it's in the attack range, and if it is, it subtracts the health and sets the cooldown for the attack. So this is what it does right now, but what I would like to do is create a collider and make attacking only look like your character is doing some animation, and if the weapon collider is hitting other character, then it should subtract the health then. So it's more like kind of dynamic. But for that we need character model animations, So yeah, let's look at the asset store. I think just find some free assets. Most probably I have some downloaded already. So my assets, it's here. No, it's not here. Or maybe it's here. I need to log in. Okay. Oh, whoa, what's that? No, I want it. All right. So you have characters like that. Remember that was pretty cool. I wonder if I should just grab this animation pack and use one of those characters, or take this pack. I remember there's a cool character out here. So while making this kind of a prototype, we'll have a consistent visual style. What resources do you recommend for learning ECS from ground up? So I was using Unity ECS package docs. I was using this page. So it's a documentation of the ECS package, community entities package. Here I have very cool informations. Like archetypes. To be honest, I still haven't read those. You have a cool information out here, and of course you have a scripting API, which in my opinion is always the most important thing that you should look into. But yeah, this documentation, I think it's fine. There's some YouTube videos on from Unity, mainly from Unite events, that are showing how to create some stuff in ECS. But right now, as I've mentioned it on the previous streams, the pure ECS approach is lacking some things that makes it a lot harder to create a game right now with pure ECS. So that's why I'm using the hybrid ECS approach. So I'm not using a lot of things from the entities package, like these jobs sections. I'm not using jobs at all because I can't, since all of my components are just under the hood, simply model behaviors. I'm just writing a gameplay in ECS, but I'm not optimizing the code in ECS way. So all of those jobs are for optimization, and if you're using a hybrid ECS, most likely you can't use that. But if you would like to just create some basic game, then I think the ECS is ready for that, and you can use already jobs. But for a hybrid, I'm using just a small, I'd say, tip of the iceberg of the features from ECS. So yeah, that was the answer. What were we doing? Yeah, we were searching for the assets. So let's grab that one. I have a lot of resources out here. And I like those animations from Explosive. They are very, very cool. I mean, free. That's the starting point for that. So yeah, I think we'll just use warrior pack, fighter pack bundle. I think we'll import all of the warrior packs. A quick question: is it possible to write in ECS in German? Um, I mean, it's. I mean, you can write. I mean, what would you like to write in German? Because if you'd like to use some class names, I believe it's up to the C# code naming standards. So whether C# allows some German characters for naming classes. As I remember, JavaScript does, so TypeScript does too. But I don't know whether C# allows you to do that. So I don't know. You have to try it. No problem, Osex. It's always a pleasure to answer some questions. Alright, so we have imported those packages. Let's grab some preset scene. Yeah, it's a cool one. So the level design is done. We don't have to worry about this anymore. I'll just delete this car. Okay. Demo objects, skydome. Okay. Pick this character. We'll move it out of the. Let's delete this character. We'll move it out of the demo objects game object. So let's call it. Oh, let's call that one map. This one will be sky, lights, main camera. Oh. And let's make it player. All right. Do we have some animations for that one? There's no animation controller, so I believe we do not. So let's create an animation controller. Animations and animator controller. Player animation controller. Okay. Oh, it's here. I was wondering where the animation window was placed. Alright. Have they changed something? Because this animation window looks different. Okay. I'm using the newest Unity 2019. So maybe something has changed. Alright, so we have animation. So for animation, I would like to, in whole game, I would like for animations to control only what's inside of the player object. So only the model. I wouldn't like to modify the root motion. So I can be sure that the root motion, the position, is completely controlled by my scripts, my gameplay. So it won't create some confusion or create some bugs due to that animation is controlling the position of the player. So what can we have for the animation? First of all, walking, so or moving, that would be better. But instead of introducing is moving, we'll just increase the create move speed. In the move speed parameter, create a state that will call, or not a state, let's create a substate machine. Moving and idle. So right now we need to find an idle animation and some walking and running animation. I created the substate machine because here, or maybe it's not substate machine, maybe it is, and wait. Create state, oh, it's a blend tree, not substate machine. Okay, so I'm creating a blend tree because I would like to blend the walking and running animation between each other, to create a smooth transition or create just a walking possibility for the character, so we don't have to run. So first of all, we need to find an idle animation. Let's go here, player, and maybe we'll move it. Oh, what's happening? Okay, we'll move it here, or maybe. Oh, right now I know why it was placed here. Because if I select the idle, I can now access the inspector, and let's find some cool idle animation. And animations, let's play it. It looks like he was in the attack stance. I would like for this idle to be more like just standing. If I switch here, oh, maybe I can just. Whoa, what's that? Okay. Broad warrior. Idle. That looks cool. Knight. Knight is always a cool one. Idle. No. Mage. Okay, that looks much better. So if we don't find any better, we'll use mage animation for idle. A swordsman, idle. Okay, that looks pretty standard, so I'm picking the swordsman idle animation. Words looks weird on that character, but it's okay. And the moving animations. So let's go to the blend tree, or maybe we can check it out like here, swordsman run. It's running with 2 swords. I think it will fine. So let's not waste time on picking right animations. Just where's that? Moving, okay. And add a new motion field. And let's add this run. And let's look for the walk animation, if we have any. I don't believe we have. I believe it was, we can pick the walk animation from basic motion free pack. Yeah, it should be here. Hello, Sir Robin. Nice to see you here. Alright, Kevin Iglesias, the author of the Basic Motions animations. Cool guy. Is there a singer called Iglesias? Yeah, Enrique Iglesias, yeah. So maybe some family out here. Walk. We have a walking animation. And the option with the root motion, okay, so it's moving moving the character. We don't want to have character moved. Oh, I see a problem because those animations are not not made for not applying the root motion, but maybe they'll work. We'll see. Let's get back to our player animation controller here. So we want to get a walk without a root motion, right? Right. Okay, and so add a motion field, and we'll apply the same idle, or we'll make it. Oh, just give me a second. Short break. I need to fix the camera. Okay, I'm back. I'm using the camera from my phone, and it told me its battery will be off in 5 minutes, so I had to act. All right. Okay, so instead of creating here an idle state, we'll do it like that. So we pick that idle, Sportsman idle, okay. We're going to the blend tree here, and we'll assign here, that one here. Let's delete that one, and let's keep that name moving, it's okay. So we have a blend tree that blends through 3 types of animations. So idle, working, and running. Can I move okay, let's play it. So we're standing. We'll slowly starting to move. Let's increase that one. We're walking and we're running. It all depends on just one parameter. Move speed. Alright, of course we would have to adjust the move speed, animations move speed. So for example, if we set it to 1, it really goes 1 unit per second with his foots, but we'll fix that later. Let's just keep it as it is right now. So we have a move speed parameter, and as this is the player animation controller, and we don't want to restrict every character to follow some generic animation controller setup, I will right now create just component called player animation animator or animation that would be better. Just like in character AI, for now it will be an empty component. Okay, one more thing before we start coding that. Let's just set up our character, our player, to move, like in the previous scene, so we can just check it out if it's working. So character movement, a hybrid entity is added automatically. Just to recap what hybrid entity is, it's a simple script that adds our game object to the entity world, so we can just write the gameplay using ECS code. So this is kind of a base of our hybrid approach, and it was added because in the hybrid component, which is a base for every our component, we are requiring the hybrid entity to be present on the game object through the required component attribute. Okay, character movement, character team, let's assign that one right now. Health, attack, and player inputs. Okay, and character statistics with the movement speed of 1, and let's see how it's working. It's not, because rigid body. We forgot about it. And the capsule collider. Oh no, I hate adjusting those capsule colliders. It's just annoying, really. Okay. Alright. Let's do it like that. Okay, so now it's perfectly, the bottom of the capsule collider is at the exact point of the transform, because the height, the Y position is half of the height, and our transform position is just on the ground. So it's perfectly here. And the smaller radius. Alright. And the rigid body. Oh, it's here. Constraints, we are freezing the rotation. We don't want to, for this capsule collider, just to fall. Okay, and we are indeed moving. So yeah, player animation. And right now, I want to create a system called animate player system. Yeah. I'll use that one as a reference, animate player system. And we are searching for entities with player animation. And with an animator. And we need to pick that one from Unity Engine. And for knowing whether it's moving, we need to have character movement. Alright. So, right now what we want to do is to assign to animator float called move speed. Oh, let's do it like that. Name move speed. And with value of character movement. Here we need to calculate vector 2. New vector 2. Character movement. Direction X. direction Z. We want to calculate the square magnitude, no, just magnitude of that. So here we have how fast our character is moving, or we don't have. I'm wrong, because it's not normalized. The best way to get it would be to normalize it and multiply by speed. So yeah, that's what we will do. Why? No, we just need to take character movement speed. Yeah, so simple. Alright, let's see if it's working. It won't be smooth right now, but we'll introduce smoothing just a second. Okay, so it's setting up 1 all the time because our direction, we are determining whether to move or not by the fact that direction X and Z is 0. So we'd need to change that one, because let's introduce the kind of speeding up, so acceleration of the movement. And after we introduce that, we will have a perfect smooth animation of going from idle to running. So yeah. So what do we need for acceleration? First of all, the speed is would be a target speed. So how fast we would like for our character to move. Let me close. So calculate character movement speed system. So instead of that, or maybe it would be a max speed. So how do we want our character to restrict his speed, movement speed? So he can move slower, but he can't move faster. And we can actually take that one from this. Oh no, we want to calculate that one. It's just I want to do it as clean as possible and not mess up. Don't mess it up. I can do it very quickly, but most probably later on I would need to change it. So there's no reason, there's no rush. I think I can just take a moment and think more about it. So let's take a look at the whole problem from the ground. We need to have each character should have the maximum speed that he can run, but he can move slower. So it's up to kind of an input or AI to decide how fast the character should move. So the statistics should only provide our max movement speed. But the whole point of introducing this calculate character movement speed system was that want to create possibility to introduce some kind of effects that would speed up our character movement. But right now I'm thinking that if you would like, we would like to do that. We don't want to do it for every aspect, for every statistic. So it would be better to keep the character statistics as it is, and maybe introduce later a character computed statistics where we would modify them based on the effects that would be applying on the character. So each component wouldn't need to have to store its own value. So yeah, let's rename it to max movement speed. Calculate character movement speed system. We need to delete that one. And here, as we have max movement speed, let's introduce a target speed and speed. So the target speed will come from the input. And the speed will be smoothed value, will be smoothing a speed value to reach the target speed. Yeah, and let's rename those two to target direction X and target direction Z. As I'm thinking more, we should really split this component into two. So the first one will be like character movement input or target, I don't know, and where we will store the three variables, and here the second component would store the computed variables, so the speed and direction X and Z. But let's keep it that way for now, at least. So player input, we have direction X, direction Z. Okay, let's rename those two, or maybe not. So apply a player movement direction system. So we're taking those from player input. So yeah, in player input we have two axes, direction X and direction Z. Let's rename them to axis X, axis Z. Okay, this is our player input. Axis X, axis Z. It's still reading those axes. And here, target direction. And we need to compute the character target speed. So as we are using the keyboard, it will be like if any key is pressed, then target speed. Oh, there's an issue because the target speed, if you want to move the character at the full speed, would need to equal the max movement speed. I would prefer for it to have like value between 1 and 0. So maybe instead of target speed, the character movement, we'll introduce should run. Is running? Or is walking? Is running. Okay, and we'll always set is running to true. Or maybe, yeah, for now let's set it always for true. Okay, and we'll just compute the target speed. So if it's running, it would be the full value of the character statistics max movement speed. If it's walking, it will be half of that. But we would also need to introduce some is staying. That's an issue. Player input. So, let's take a step back. I would really want to do it the best as I can. From the input perspective, we just want the two axes, X and Z. Yeah, let's move axis X, move axis Z. And we want to transfer that for the movement. And if we are moving a character, we need information in which target it's moving and at which speed we should move that one. So the problem is where we want to hold the information whether the character is moving at all or not. Target speed multiplier. It's multiplier or multiplier? Multiplier, okay. Okay, so from those two variables we're only taking a direction, and from that one we're taking at which speed. Yeah, something like that. And we are multiplying the maximum speed by that value. And it can be either 0, so we are staying, or 1, we are running at the full speed. And later on, apply player movement direction system. So move axis X, move axis Z. And we are taking the length of this vector. Magnitude. What's wrong? Oh, we need to import the magnitude. The wrong vector. What's wrong? From float to bool. Okay, it's bool. I want to make it a float. Okay. And here, move character rigid body system. We are taking the normalized direction, that's good, but we want to calculate the speed. The character movement speed. First, we want to get target speed. Target speed multiplier. Oh, let's do it like that. Multiply it by characters, and we need character statistics. Statistics by max movement speed. And we need to smooth this speed value to this target speed. So to introduce some clamp. F clamp 0, 1. Very useful function. So we're clamping this value between 0 and 1. And now some basic smoothing function. So let's say that speed equals to f or maybe like that. Let's make it linear. So speed diff would be a target speed minus speed, and the speed would be speed plus the math clamp between the speed difference, and as we'll introduce max speed diff. Max absolute speed difference would be a time delta time for now, and want to clamp it between max absolute speed, and we have our speed, which we can assign actually. So I can delete that. Right, so what's going on here? We are calculating our target speed. So we're just multiplying the maximum movement speed by our target speed multiplier, which is set from player input or AI. It determines whether the character is just standing, so it can be 0, or walking, for example a half, or it's running, so it's 1. Later on we are trying to smooth the current speed, movement speed, to reach the target speed. So we'll make it for the time. We are just subtracting the adding the difference. We're trying to reach the target speed. So what we want to add to speed to reach the target speed is target speed minus speed. But we don't want to do it faster than time delta time. Oh, the flux is up. Need to turn it off. That's much better. So now it should just not move it faster than the time delta time. Smooth it faster. Alright, and here we're just taking speed. And going back here, animate player, we are setting the move speed from here. And it all should be working, I believe. Or not, we need to adjust some statistic variables out here. Target spin multiplier, target direction XZ, speed, it's good, and character statistics, map movement speed, let's pick it 1. And is it working or not? We are standing and we are running. Cool. So it's working. Let's bring the camera somewhere closer. Let's do it like that. Here. Okay. I don't know why the tool was out there, but okay. So we're starting to run and we're stopping. It's all going smooth. Of course, it's very slow and responsive because the time to reach the full target speed right now it takes 1 second, and to slow down it also takes 1 second. So we can also introduce a character statistics, public float, acceleration, movement, acceleration, speed. And just multiply that value by here. Okay. And in character statistics, I can right now change this value here, 10, so it will completely reach the target speed in 100 milliseconds. Oh, wrong direction. Oh, need to turn the character in the moving direction. That would be good. Okay, it's as you can see here, you can see the value of our character. It's much more faster. Okay, so it's very ugly. I mean, that he's walking forward, but he's going on the left or right side. So let's rotate our character the proper side of the movement. The character, body system, and we have here I think it's a big part of the movement, so let's just place it in that system. As we are using a rigid body here, we don't want to mess up some things, split it into 2 places, as I would like to just use a rigid body out here, not in other places. So it won't be a move character rigid body system. It would be like apply movement, apply character movement to rigid body system. Much better name for that, for the new responsibilities of this system. So as we are applying the velocity out here right now, we need to rotate our character in the proper direction. So we have a normalized direction here. And one more thing. If character movement speed is higher than 0, only then we are performing some operations. otherwise we don't want to. Seem to be great teacher and your English is also good. I really subscribe to your channel. Looking forward for more content. Thank you. That's really nice to hear. Later on, after we accomplish a lot of things, yeah, oh man, I just wanted to tell that please consider making separate videos of highlights of implementation of this project. I would be very interested in more condensed form. Sure, this is the exact plan. I wanted just to tell that after a bunch of streams, if I just reach some very cool milestone in this project, I would just create, I wanted to call it a summary. So some summary of the project of some 3 or 2 or maybe more streams where just talk about my experience, because this stream is more like me learning the ECS. It's not a tutorial, I'd say. And those summaries will just sum up what I've learned and what can you learn from that. So to give a knowledge. Here I'm just taking knowledge and sharing that process. But the videos will be about me giving a knowledge to you. So that's the plan. And again, thanks for watching. Okay, character movement speed is more than 0. Then we are modifying the velocity. And if it's more than 0, then we also want to rotate our character. So rigid body, or maybe not transform. Do you want to do it for rigid body or for just simple rotation? Yeah, thanks, Ossex. I'm looking forward for it too. I don't know when we should rotate it through move rotation. Maybe the new rotation for rigid body. I wouldn't like to use a transform right here. So maybe the smooth rotation would be good. I don't know if it work at all since we are freezing the rotation, but well, let's see. So quaternion rotation. Yeah, we need first of all convert the direction for the angle. I can never remember how to do it. I just know it's something with the atten2 function or something like that. It's like whenever I need to convert a direction for the angle, I don't have time to learn why it's done like that, which I love to do, but it's like it's always not in the right place to learn that knowledge. So that's why I always do not remember how to convert a damn freaking direction to the angle. But yeah, let's check that once again, and let's do it here. Direction to angle. Yeah, thank you. So it's AX. Oh, let's check that out. That's interesting. I think I don't want to waste time to understand that right now. I promise someday I'll learn that. Okay, let's get back. So 8 and 2. Quaternion, and we want that from the Euler angles. X0, F0, Z. Want to, yeah, Z or no? What I'm doing? Let's modify that variable. So math. 8 and 2. And we want normalized direction. That. Oh, we don't... I need to create maybe a special vector that will only hold values x and z, because as you see, I'm trying to avoid making the target direction vector free. Since the game is like top down, it's character only move in 2 axes. So maybe later when we'll introduce some refactoring, I'll create something like vector xz, just to simplify things. But never mind, let's keep it going. And it's inverted here. And while it's complaining, you're alright. Let's see if that magic thing it's not a oh the classic issue, compilation error, the semicolon is missing. Okay, so it's because it's not working. It's probably because rotation is frozen. What's going on right now? Oh. Okay, welcome Pi. How are you? Math rat 2 degrees. It will sound like that. That will work. No, it won't work. Oh my god. Why? It's radians degrees. Oh, I don't know. Is it? So we're moving forward. No, it's good. So it's just wrong. Normalize direction. Okay. We're at 2 degrees. Maybe minus. It's just a perfect game of guessing. I just don't want to waste time on checking that. It's a bit pathetic, I'd say, from me. What's going on, man? Unity direction to rotation. Look rotate. No, don't want that. 2D. Hi, you're looking great tonight. Thank you. I'm just wasting about 10 minutes of my life on checking about 100 times in my programming career how to convert a direction to the angle. Alright. Angle axis. Oh, so I'm messing up the quaternion, I think. Alright. So, quaternion. Rigid body, move rotation. But at least the move rotation is working, we know that. That's great news. Yeah. and will it work or not? Well, I can always say it's because of the... What's that? Extra free app. I can always say it's because I'm streaming. If I would do it without a stream, it would go so much better. Hey, what's wrong with you? Really? Wait. If it, hmm. It's rotated by 19 degrees. So where am I messing something up? Maybe someone from the chat would help. I see two of you are here. Really? Let me check some old project, really. I did something like that. Maybe it will work. Angle. Yep, it works. Yeah. Okay. I need to just rotate the camera because right now for me it's confusing that if I hit the left button, it's going to the up. So right now it's working good. Player animation event foot L on animation run has no receiver. What are you talking about? Alright, there are some events. So we will need to clone that animation and introduce, just delete those to get rid of this error, but whatever, we'll do it later. So yeah, we have a character that it's moving. Everything is written in the hybrid ECS approach, so that's good. Some milestone achieved. Yep. What should we do next? Attacking, yeah? I believe attacking. So, how I would like to create an attack system. I'd like to play an animation, but the length of the animation should be controlled by the gameplay. So it's not like I'm firing the animation, it's playing, and when it's done, the attack is completed. I would like to play animation, make animation playing during some time that is controlled completely by gameplay. It gives us more possibilities, because if we would move that responsibility for the animator, then we are kind of pushing some gameplay functionality to the animator, and it's not always a good practice, as animation is just representation of your gameplay. So if it would be good if you can, for example, turn on animation and the game is still working. We won't achieve that since we will move the sword and all of the things through the animator component. Yep, but by moving the control whether the character is attacking or not from animator to completely into the gameplay, we can introduce some mechanics like dodging the attack. I mean, not dodging, stopping the attack. So it's kind of parry. Yeah, it's parry. So we can introduce a parry mechanic very easily without messing a lot of things in the character animator. So yeah, let's get back to animator. The base layer which is moving. And the primary question, do we want to have a character moving and attacking at the same time? And the answer is we don't know yet. So we can prepare it as if we would like to. Would be always a good challenge for that. So let's create an attack layer and rename that for move layer, movement. So this is layer for attack, for attacking. So we would need to create an avatar mask for that, or mark it as an additive. I don't know. Oh wait. Let's wait one. Let's wait one. Okay, that's great. And is attacking, or maybe not. I would love to have some float here. Some float. Because I would like to control or maybe boolean would be good. So yeah, boolean is attacking. And a simple transition from the non, which is non-animation motion, to and from some attack. Where's the preview? Need to select the player. Okay. Where's my preview? Okay, it should be here. Attack. Oh, I mean, why not? It's only for testing purposes. We're not working on the full kind of a combat feeling right now. Just some base stuff, so it will work. And just attack. And we are transitioning to that state and condition that is attack. Attack is true. It's attacking is true. And we are getting back if attacking is false. And the point is, we don't have any exit time. So it can be stopped in any moment. So it should be directly controlled by the gameplay. All right. And we'll mark it as an additive. I wonder how it will look like, but most probably it will do something while moving. Speed is 1, okay. Later on, I would like to introduce here multiplier. That's cool. I would like to introduce here an attack speed, so the animation can completely synchronize with the gameplay. What's that button? Device link, live link, reset. Oh, is this a new feature that lets you change something in the scene while the build is running? No, okay. Player, let's just start it, and we'll control it from here. So it's attacking. Okay, two issues. Oh, as you can see, we are stopping the attack whenever we want. So two issues out here. First of all, it's not looping this animation. Attack 1. And can we make a transition to itself? Yep, we can. That's exit time. Exit time would be 1 and transition duration would be 0. So we don't need to loop the animation, most probably. We can loop it here. Will it work? Yeah, it's working. Yeah, it's working, very cool. Alright. Into delete that, make it 0. What about if we're moving? Can I test that? Yeah, I can. Let's just delete the player input and get the target direction Z. It's still working. What's going on? It's the hybrid ECS isn't perfect. If I delete the player input during the gameplay session, it's breaking. So to check that, let's delete the player input. Apply the movement, speed 1. What's going on? Oh, target speed multiplier. Okay. He's moving. And now he's attacking while moving. It's not that bad. Look at that. I mean, the animation isn't synchronized with the foot, but it's overall great. Let's try to make it 5. 1 and here 3, 2, 1. No, it's good. Let me create that one. Yep, he's attacking while moving. So we are blending to animation on here. And this additive blending isn't quite bad. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's kind of a workaround for right now, because perfectly what we would like to do is to create an avatar mask which would cover the upper parts of the character. So the top of his body would be completely controlled by the attacking animation, and the bottom, the legs, by the movement animation. And the idle for moving. And of course, we can also like create some make it overwrite, not additive. That's is attacking, and here create some state for movement while attacking, for attacking while movement. But never mind, it's right now working kind of okay. Cool. So we have an attack animation, we have moving animation, rotating the character into the movement direction, which was hard. I mean, on the stream. Normally, trust me, I would do that in 5 minutes, not more. It's just because I'm streaming. Just because of that. Alright. Weapons. Yep. For now, they'll be just colliders. So each character would have one weapon, which will be just simply collider. And the player character attacking system would deal damage. But it's already late. So I think we'll leave that to the next stream. Yeah. I think the streaming frequently, but short times of streaming, but more frequent, it's kind of better. Right now it's out of completely any schedule, but if we'll gather some community out here, I think I'll make one. But right now, just stream whenever I want. So yeah, the plan for the next stream would be to create the weapon collider, deal damage when any character collides with that weapon. As we already have the attacking animation. So yeah. So that would be a next stream. I think it will fulfill the whole stream, so I'm not taking any plans further. I'm also thinking about putting this code on GitHub, so you can just view my results anytime. But the issue most probably would be the asset packs that I'm not owner of. So I would need to check the license of those asset packs, whether it's legal to upload those to the GitHub. I mean, they're all free assets, but I'm not sure whether it's because uploading them to a public repository is kind of a distribution of them, so I don't want whether it's legal to do that. But I'll check. If it's alright, then I'll upload the whole project on GitHub and just use it as a main repository for that, because I'm just taking right now the YOLO approach without any repository. So if my hard drive breaks, there will be no project at all. Okay. So thank you all for watching. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye.